The real book. This one's seen better days, you guys. The real book. This is the one with the lyric on here. I like to cross-reference different books, and sometimes I'll even find the original sheet music just to see if, you know, what's the best version, if there is such a thing. So let's get started. We're in the key of E flat major. So let's do our quick little exercise I always like to do. This is my 6th fret, by the way. I had a Patreon member mention that this guitar doesn't have dots. It does on the top. Rarely I try not to look at the dots too much when I play, but it's a good reference, I know. So we're on 6th fret here. E flat, the 1, F minor 7, the 2, G minor 7, the 3, A flat major 7, the 4. We're getting kind of high up here, so that's where I might go to A flat major 7 down here. The 5 is B flat 7, the 6 is C minor 7, and the 7 is D minor 7 flat 5, and then back to E flat major 7. I'm going to go backwards. D minor 7 flat 5, C minor 7, B flat minor 7. I think I switched keys on here. E flat major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, C minor 7, B flat 7, A flat major 7, G minor 7, F minor 7, and then I don't have an E flat down here. I have to drop 2 my guitar, but I'm going to do it here. This is such an important study whenever you're learning a song, is to go through the diatonic 7th chords. And then I usually say, okay, now let's do the secondary dominants. Many of you know my routine now. You want to do that? Who wants to do that? Type in the chat if you want to do this. I mean, I really do recommend it if you're learning a new song. This will help you analyze so that you know, because if you're playing jazz, you have to understand that all of these standards use a ton of secondary dominants. Not only just the dominant chord, sometimes the 2 chord in front of it, so it's a 2-5. All right, Dave says yes, so we'll do it. Here's the 1 chord. Again, I'm gonna point and say the fret. This is E flat, the 6th fret. Well, that's our tonic, the 1 chord. The 5 chord is right here. And it's nice to know that the 1-5-1 deal that I always say, this is 1, here's the 5. The guitar is laid out beautifully, so we can go 1-5-1 like this. 1-5-1. So the 2, the 5 of the 2, 2, and that's a C7, F minor 7. Here's a 3, G. This is 10, and then D7, A flat major 7. That's my 11th fret. I won't say everything, but and there's my 11th fret, E flat 7. And yes, we're getting kind of high up here. B flat 7, F7, B flat 7. That's a 5 of the 5. The 5 of the 4 was E flat. And that's when I often say when the 1 chord turns to dominant, E flat, when that turns to dominant, that's going to pull us to the 4. You'll hear me say that practically every lesson, because all of these jazz standards will go to the 4 chord. Okay, not all of them, but really most of them do. 95%, that 1 chord will turn to dominant. And oftentimes you'll put a 2 chord in front of it, so it becomes a 2-5. And it does in the song. There's actually a little nice modulation there in this song. We'll discover that in a minute. A little parallel key there. Okay, so we're doing this great exercise. Then yes, we want to do the 2 5s in front of it. So we're on the 4, we're on the 5. But now check it out when we're doing on the 6th string root, the 5 here, B flat 7. Well, that 5th is here. So that's F7. So B flat 7, F7. Okay. C minor 7, 5. Okay, that's the 5, the 6, a relative minor. That's a very important one. In front of that, we'll often do a 2-5 like this. D minor 7 flat 5, G7, a little augmented there for flavor, C minor. So that's a 6. And then the 7 chord does not get a secondary dominant. The D minor 7 flat 5 is acting as a 5 chord, or a 2 chord, as I just demonstrated, as a pivot chord. So we can go through the whole process of going 2/5 to each one of these as well, and that makes a great study. That's where I suggest looking at many of these jazz standards. One of them that does it in plain sight, that you can see like all of these secondary dominants, is It Could Happen to You. That's a really great jazz standard to practice and learn and study. It's challenging because you get all these secondary dominants with the 2/5s. I Could Write a Book, that's another great one too. So many of these will not necessarily use all of them, but those songs use quite a few of them. And then, yeah, there's a lot of jazz standards. So, cheers again, thanks for joining me. Let's get started on this particular song. Here is E flat major 7. This is my 6th fret. And the melody note is a G note. Lately, so if you feel like singing it, lately, I find myself out gazing at stars, hearing guitars, like someone in love. There's that 2/5 to the 4. Okay, so let's stop there and just get that far. We have E flat major 7. Now we're gonna go to C minor, the 6, but in front of that we're gonna put the dominant, G7. But it's really nice that there's a walk down bass. Not walk up, but walk down. So this is G7 with a D in the bass. 10th fret, G. We'll put the D in the bass, and then go to C minor 7. Okay, now, you know, you could just go to G7, and if you have a bass player that you're playing with, then they can go do the walk down. But the walk down has this really nice feel, because the melody is doing this. It just stays on the same note. Lately, I find myself. So that melody stays as a pedal tone on the G note, while the bass is moving in it chromatically, and that's called, it's counterpoint. That's called oblique movement, where one thing stays the same, but the other is moving like this. It's very nice counterpoint to have those two lines, one contrasting, one staying the same, and the other moving down. That's called oblique. You can have another where you're going parallel, and they're both moving together, or you can have them go in opposite directions, and that's called contrary motion. So those are the 3 counterpoint types that you will see often. All right, so yeah, thanks for doing this, guys. If you're enjoying these lessons, lately, G7/D, get that bass note. Find myself, now C minor 7, the 6, with the bass, C minor 7, and the bass. So it's basically like an E flat triad, but you can have the C on there, which is the melody note, the B flat, and the bass. Now, you'll see some different things on different charts here. You'll see A minor 7 flat 5, then A flat 7, G minor 7, C7. That's a 3/6 to the 2. And that's your secondary dominant to the 2, okay? But we have this A minor 7 flat 5. Well, that's a sub. And type it in the chat if you want to. A minor 7 flat 5. What is that a sub for? I already talked about this earlier, that the minor 7 flat 5 chord kind of can be really a chameleon. It could be often a sub for the dominant chord. So A minor 7 flat 5. As I said earlier, D minor 7 flat 5 didn't get a secondary dominant because it's acting as a 5 of B flat 7. What would A minor 7 flat 5 be the 5 of, or the sub for? Anybody know? A minor 7 flat 5. And that's what you'll often see in this chart. Adds a little bit of a darker flavor. F7, exactly, thank you. So that A minor 7 flat 5 is the 3 of F7. So basically creates a F9. Okay. And F9 is the 5 of the 5. Okay. And then the A flat 7 is a tritone sub. You can also just go B flat 7 if you want to, then G minor 7. You could go, but I do like the A flat 7. So one thing that I would probably do here, instead of going A minor 7 flat 5, because of the melody note, I might put an F/A. And then I'd minor and put the A flat here. You can put a B flat. This chord. That's B flat / A flat, the flat 7 in the bass, or like this. I talked about this recently in my lesson for Joe Beam's Wave, these beautiful slash chords. They create a really beautiful effect. So check this out. Is that nice? And this, that's F minor / A flat, or B flat / A flat, or just A flat 7. And I would just do it as a 3-note shape. So again, reinterpret some of these lead sheets. It's important that you look at the melody note. Lately, I find myself out gazing at stars, hearing. That's the first 4 bars. Pretty dense. Let's do that again. I'm going to name those chords. I'm going to name the chords that I'm specifically playing different from the lead sheet that you might see. E flat major 7, G7/D, really paying attention to the bass line. C minor 7, C minor 7/B flat, F/A, F minor /A flat, or that B flat /A flat if you choose. G minor 7, C7, and then finally F minor 7. Okay? Let's do that again very slowly. If you want to sing along, by the way, if you're just tuning in, grab the lead sheet. It's here. Just grab it in the description. It'll take you 20 seconds. And it'll pop right up on your screen. Here's your melody note. And then here, if you want to sing it along, let's play the melody together. I would sing it lately. I'd probably sing an octave lower. Lately, I find myself out gazing at stars. Okay. Hey, Joe Mama, welcome. Discord. I've thought about it. Should I think harder about it? Have you guys communicate with each other, right? I have a chat on Patreon, a feature where you can chat, not necessarily in real time, which would be nice, but that seems like a good thing. I'll look into it more. I like the chat feature, except I don't get notified often, so I don't see it till I take a look that someone has typed in something. But I would love, again, as I develop the community on Patreon, for you all to chat. But that's also great that I'm doing these live streams so you can chat. You can feel free to chat. Of course, I like to stay focused on the song. Lately, I find myself out gazing at stars. Let's keep going. Hearing guitars like someone. So there's some different things there. B flat 7, you could do a 2/5 going into G minor. There's so many different options that you'll see on different fake books. So what I did there was F minor 7 to B flat 7. But what you'll see on this lead sheet here, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 to G minor 7, B flat minor 7 to E flat 7, and that pulls us finally to the 4 chord. So do you want to do that? All those secondary dominants that I was talking about. We have the 2, the 3, the 2/5 to the 3, 2/5 to the 4. So this song is pretty complicated. I would rate this as a intermediate / advanced jazz standard if you're working on it. I wouldn't work on it I would work on something like Autumn Leaves or Blue Bossa, those type of standards first before attempting to really get this one down, unless you understand all the lingo that I'm going over with all these secondary dominants, the 5, the 2, 2 5s. But I do like to try to simplify a little bit too. So really what you can do if you wanted to, after the F minor 7, go to B flat 7, and then go to E flat major 7, 2, 5, 1. You don't need to go 3, 6, or 2, 5 to the 3, and then 2, 5 to the 4. You could just go hearing guitars like someone in love, and then to the A flat major 7. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to simplify my chart a little bit. So if you're on Patreon, check back on this chart. I'll repost it with a sound slice practice video. And I'll put all these little chord diagrams. This one, many of you ask, you know, for chord diagrams, sometimes I'll say, well, if it's pretty standard, I won't bother, because if you do the group routine, which I'm not going to do because many of you know it already, and on next lesson, on the next standard, we'll go through the whole routine guitar practicing. But check out all of my materials on Patreon for all the grip chords. But this one's got some special chords. Again, I'm just going to play it. I'll play it with a slightly simplified version from this. Major 7. So let's talk about this again. This is a pretty complex song, so that's why I'm walking you very carefully through these chords. E flat major 7. I'm going to show you another version of playing G7/D right here. Kind of like we're doing this G7, but with a D in the bass. So here's G triad, with the 7 here, and that's D, the 5th fret. Okay, I'm going to periodically refer to the frets because this guitar doesn't have dots here for you, so 5th fret. You could do that. I like this one more because it has a melody note on there. So it helps the singer, in this case me, lately, but helps you too. Lately, I find myself out gazing at stars, hearing guitars like someone in love. Okay, so you guys got that so far? Yeah, Carl, thank you for mentioning that. If you don't get it, yeah, you know, I share these standards that I really like, and sometimes requests, but generally the songs that I'm posting here on these live streams, I like these songs quite a bit. I love them. So I wouldn't put my time into it either if I didn't love sharing these songs. This song deserves a little bit of special attention to the harmony, the chord progression, and the chord shapes, even on how to choose some of these slash chords, because there's a lot of slash chords. If you want that bass line a la Chet Baker, I was going over I've Never Been in Love Before. That's on Patreon, and well, yeah, the bonus video where I dissect exactly what's going on. There's a lot of chord movement, a lot of cool hip subs. Again, we're just going over the basics here. Let's pick it up from the A flat major 7. That's the 4 chord, by the way, in the key of E flat. That's your 4. So we got to the 4 by turning the 1 into dominant. That's what I always say. But we put a 2 chord in front of it, so it's 2, 5, 1. And the lyric here is, sometimes the things I do astound me. The melody is actually on the A flat, so you might even choose A flat 6 or A flat major 13. By the way, let me talk about an A flat major 13. You got to be careful because you got to put major 13. If you just put A flat 13, then that's dominant. There's a big difference. Here's A flat major 7. This is my 4th fret, A flat. Well, the 13 is the same as a 6th degree up an octave. So here is a 6 on the F note, okay? But we also include the G, which is the 7th degree. Very lush. Here's dominant. We don't want that. So A flat major 13 would be choice for this. And again, I'm looking at the melody note. That's how I know. Why would I choose this? I would also choose, if you guys play the song Meditation by Joe Beam, that's the first note. So you could just play an A flat 6, I mean a C6 in that case. But major 13 has this lush quality. So I would do A flat major 13. Sometimes the things I do astound me. Little walk up there. So this is interesting. There's a key change happening here. We're in the key of A flat major, and then now we magically appear in the key of C major. How does C major relate to E flat major? Why is Van Heusen, Jimmy Van Heusen, why is he going to the key of C major? How? Well, C major, if you have to think about, well, what is C in the key of E flat? C is the relative minor. Boom, 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 boom. C minor, right? But C major is the parallel major key of the C minor. And many of you have seen my video lessons on Django's Tears, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Something, George Harrison, many other songs too. They go to the parallel key. So this now modulates to the parallel relative major. Let's practice that. A flat major 13. Sometimes the things I do astound me. And it says A flat or C major 7 for 2 bars. I like to do a walk up. So if the chart just says C major 7 for 2 measures, right? What do? Right? So here, let me show it to you. I'll show you the fake book in this case. So right here, C major 7 for 2 bars. What do you do when the chart says C major 7 for 2 bars? You do a walk-up, diatonic. This is why it's so important to know your diatonic 7th chords. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, and D minor 7. 2 beats each. If you add that up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes to C minor 7. So that C major turned to minor. But that's what I would typically do on a song where it's just 1 major 7 chord for 2 measures. It's just to walk it up. I do that. Take a look at the song and my lesson for All the Things You Are. I do that twice in there. And that's pretty common. So again, it's very important that you know your diatonic 7th chords. So let's just practice that. Lately, sometimes the things I do astound me. Sometimes the things I do astound me. C minor 7. And I'm actually doing, just so you know, I'm playing the chord and the melody in here. This is one of my very favorite things to do on the guitar, and I know for you too, and that's why you're watching my video lessons, because I love to demonstrate how you can just extract the melody note. This is the A flat, by the way, the 6th fret, or 4th fret. Okay, I know I'm gonna periodically point because you can't see the dots there. But let's use this as an example of some chord melody here. A flat major 13 with the F note. Sometimes the E natural, don't put a chord to that. D minor 11, D minor 7. So you got 4-3 suspension. G13, G7, C major 7 with a G in the melody note. If you were playing chord melody, that's what I would do. augmented there. That gets kind of low, the melody. I would probably put it up an octave. Chord melody. So that's how I would work out a chord melody arrangement. I'll do a special Patreon only process video going through this song as a chord melody arrangement. The process videos where I'm actually talking my process through, I'm kind of doing that right now as a demonstration, but I put those at the platinum tier, the behind the scenes. Often I'm on my sound slice file and I'm demonstrating and I choose different options to see what work best for chord melody. It's not what you think always. It's very context driven. Like, you know, what's the melody note? What's my shape? Do I want to do it here? Do I want to do it here? You know what I mean? You want to find those different locations. Okay, so let's go back to that A flat major 13. And I said major 13 because the melody note. Sometimes the things I do astound. I'm doing this little hack here. Sounds like a folky pop song. I'm just doing C major triad, D minor, dyad with the G, E minor, 2-note dyad, G doubled. And that's just because little cool guitar effect. And then C minor. But the melody is. So that major turns to minor. Okay, it's almost like what's called a delayed cycle. C major now turns to minor. F7. That's the 2 dominant or the 5 of the 5, right? We're in the key of E flat. And then turn that to minor. And then B flat 7. But we want to augment it because of the melody note. Okay, me. So let's sing that together. Mostly whenever you're around me. A whole tone. And then back. And now the words are, lately I seem to walk as though I had wings, bump to things like someone in love. It's kind of high. A flat major 13, same. That was all the same stuff as before, so I didn't go through it, but I would comp the same way. Beautiful progression. I love that bass line, so don't ignore the bass. Little swing style, walk up bass, 2, 5, 1. Look at you, I'm limp as a glove. That's very special, we'll talk about that. So back to that A flat major 13, the words are, each time I look at you, I'm limp as a glove. Each time, A flat major 13, D minor 7, I look at you, I'm limp. Notice I'm doing that chord melody. I often do that when I'm backing up singers, or I'll definitely do that for myself to help hear the melody, get my pitch, and it's kind of nice to double that melody. It's hidden. Piano players do that all the time, so why not do it on the guitar? It just means you have to choose your chord shapes appropriately, you know. Each time I look at you, I'm limp as a glove, feeling like someone in love. Top. Let's play through it. Medium swing. Tritone. Walk the bass. 1, 2, 5, 1 to the 4. 4. Get the melody note. Walk it up. prolongation of the 1. Turn that to minor. And though I had wings, sometimes I look at you, I'm limp as a glove. 3, 6, 2, 5. Feeling like someone. Tag it. Feeling like someone. Last time. Feeling. Tritone 7. Like someone. E major. In love, night and day ending. Lydian ending. You guys know my trick? Minor pentatonic scale, half step below. E flat major 7 with a sharp 11 or 9. Or this. That's the beautiful chord to end on. It's quite common to end on a sharp 11 chord on the major chord. So major 9, sharp 11, major 7, sharp 11. I show that practically on every lesson also because it's so common. I want you to master that technique. And then for a little fill, just sing minor pentatonic, half step below. That's the trick. D minor, which is also F major. So you can think F major penta if you want to. I didn't talk about the last 8 bars. That's where all the excitement happens. There's a little special chord change there. A flat major 7. Each time I look at you, I'm limp. By the way, I did a little chord movement there that I think is very important, special. D minor 7 with a 4, sus4, suspension, G13. And instead of just going to G7 right here, I do this a lot in my solo arrangements. I'll do it in this one when you check out my solo arrangement, which will be posted on Patreon in the next day or 2. And I'll do the process video too, so you guys can join along with me on Patreon. That's a Patreon only. Instead of G7 here, with the 5th in the melody, go to B minor 7 flat 5. That's that 3 that I'm talking about. That's the B minor 7. The flat minor 7 flat 5 is often a sub for the G, the 3. It's the 3 of it, which is the same as D minor 6. So really you get a lot of bang for the buck. G13, B minor 7 flat 5, D minor 6. D minor 6 is the same as B minor 7 flat 5. They're all together, so that's basically, listen to that creates a 1-3-5 bass line. And then you can go to F/G. But that kind of gives it a little bit of a different flavor. But that's the use of inversions. Why would I do that? A lot of these melodies go mi, re, do. So I'm going mi, re, do. It's a great little chord melody act. See the melody's this? 5-1, G13, B minor 7 flat 5, C6. But in this case, the melody goes like this. Limp as a glove. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. I love that chord right there in that location. F sharp minor 7 flat 5 is the same as what minor 6? I mean, again, we could think of it 2 different ways. You could think of it as, well, I'll quiz you guys. This is the quiz time. If you see F sharp minor 7 flat 5, to me, I'm instantly thinking, what minor 6? Thank you, Yukon. I don't think I've heard from you today. Thanks for tuning in, Jim. A minor 6. Quiet nights of quiet stars. So yeah, A minor 6 is the same as F sharp half dim. It's important to know those inversions. And when I play this to show you F sharp minor 7 flat 5, this is my 4th fret by the way. If I put D in the bass on the 5th fret on the 5th string, we get D9. So that's what I'm saying is F sharp minor 7 flat 5 could be a sub for D7, D9, right? Or A minor 6. It's actually the same 4 notes. So here, limp as a glove, limp as a glove, that's a sub for A minor 6. C major, it's like going C major 7, C major 6, A minor 6. It just darkens it up a little bit, the flavor. Isn't that sweet? Hey Chris, you made it finally. You got off work, huh? Good job. Limp as a glove. Now, do you want to play A minor 6? It's the same 4 notes. Or do you want to play F sharp minor 7 flat 5? You want to play F sharp minor 7. This is where the bass note, I mean, it makes a difference. Limp as a glove. And then, feeling like someone in love from the top. So yeah, A minor 7, C major and A minor are related. C major 6 equals A minor 7. I'm just kind of showing you how it all relates. And sometimes it might not be so obvious that F sharp minor 7 flat 5 equals A minor 6. So it's basically just kind of thinking that that C chord is a C6 to A minor 7. C6 is A minor 7 to A minor 6. And then 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, G minor 7, C7, F minor 7, B flat major 7. This song is amazing. Beautiful song. Thanks, Rome. Good to see you. My pleasure. I love that bass line. Tritone sub for B flat. I put it major at 9 just for in love. D minor pentatonic. Again, that was the night and day ending there. So the trick to that, if that's still new for you, I do that on quite a bit. And maybe I do it too much. I love that ending. Especially if I'm working with the singer, it's just nice to have when the singer holds that note. Love. Just prolongs it. So the trick is, because the singer's going to sing that root, you go to the sharp 4. Okay? So tritone, don't resolve it to love. Go to the love, A minor 7, flat 5. A flat minor 6, E flat / G, or G minor 7, whatever you want to do. Doing tritone sub, F sharp 13, F minor 7, E major 7, then go down a half step. Lydian. melody played straight. Pretty high up here, but we can do chord melody. See the walk up. C major 7, D minor 11, E minor 7, D minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 2. The chart just says C major 7 for 2 bars, but you could do that. Give it some movement. Very polite. And then this is going to be a really fun chord melody. Again, I'll go ahead and post that on Patreon as I work through on the sound slice. I'll actually go through my process so that you can hear me talk it out note by note. Everybody, thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you next time at the next live stream. Have a good one. Cheers.